Trim the fat. In addition to generating revenue through tax hikes, that's what the government of Guam says it'll have to do to keep its head above water. Where to cut, though? Well, nobody thought public safety would be on the chopping block first, but that's exactly what happened when police and fire chiefs, at the direction of the administration, closed 2 fire stations in the Agana precinct. Many called it a political move to force senators to pass the governor's tax increase bill. GFD Acting Chief Joey San Nicolas jeopardizing lives by shutting down the Estumbo and PD fire stations to save $2.7 million in overtime. Ironically, that's about how much the administration pays its senior staff of 7 and 21 special assistants. Taxpayers footing the bill to the tune of $2.8 million for these unclassified political hires. The average compensation package for each of them in salary and benefits, $98,436 per year. And Adelup says they're worth every penny.
If you want people of a certain caliber to be able to provide this level of work, this amount of work, they should be compensated, appropriately. That's how the private sector does it. That's how the federal government does it.
It's debatable that these special assistants would be able to command such high salaries in the private sector, though. Take Margaret Metcalf, for example. She lost her bid to become Guam's congresswoman, but she's still winning in Washington, D.C. as Adelup's D.C. liaison, and she costs the people of Guam over $100,000 a year.
You talk about Margaret. One of the things that we need to make sure of is that we always have a face in Washington, D.C. It's hard because we have a congresswoman who doesn't have a vote. She does work very closely, with the congresswoman's office as well.
I spoke with a source at Congresswoman Madeline Berdalio's office, and they said Metcalf is, quote, nowhere to be found in D.C. and hasn't reached out to the congresswoman for help. Metcalf isn't the only person at Adelup breaking 6 figures a year. The $100,000 club, salary and benefits, the people of Guam pay for it all. It's a far cry from when the administration took office in 2011. Salaries and staff much lower. In 8 years, the number of special assistants alone has doubled, and Adelup has proved to be a great place to work for some. Deputy Chief of Staff Rose Ramsey started at $79,000 a year in 2011. Now she's balling out at $104,000 a year in salary alone. Back in 2011, Governor Calvo didn't need a legal opinion from the AG or a bill to cut his senior staff's pay, which he did, saying the savings would go towards paying tax refunds. Fast forward to 2018, Anita Ricles says although fire and police stations were closed, salary cuts to political hires still being discussed.
Definitely that's on the table. We've never shied away from the fact that we're going to have to do it if we have to. We should compensate people for the work that they're expected, for the work and the responsibility that they're expected to carry out.
So not necessarily on their qualifications or experience?
That should absolutely come into play.
But is that absolutely what's happening? I'll let you decide. For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.